Now I'm going to create the ec2 instance. To do that, I am going to back to the project and back to the project company name manual and enter to the project hotel, and here we have the ec2 folder, and here you can see we don't have any file. First, let's to create the first file. It could be main.tf touch.tf. Now I'm going to open this file, and let's start the creation of the ec2 instance. To do that, first we need to call the data from the network module that we created. To do that, I'm going to create the data section. The auto completion is not working. Let's check again. LSP info, and the LSP client is not running. To start the client, I'm going to run some Terraform code locals, for example, and save and restart. Here, if we check again LSP info, now we can see the LSP is working in this buffer. Okay, the data section. Let's create the data section and give a name, for example, Terraform network, and here the name is a hotel, for example, or network. Okay, and here is the network state. Okay, here we have to define where we can find the state of our infrastructure, and to do that, I'm going to define the backend is in S3. The configuration config is the configuration where we have the file for our state, and this information we can find in the network section. Let's to move in another pane to the network module. Here we have the information in the backend, cat backend. Okay, here is the information, the bucket region. We need the bucket, define the backend, the region, and the key. Let's copy this information here and delete this encryption information. This is the information where we go, or Terraform will go to search the definition of our network state. Okay, and now I'm going to copy some files that are very similar between different projects. For example, in this case, I'm going to copy the backend.tf file, copy the outputs. We need to modify the output, but is the similar file. Copy the provider to define the providers for the instances modules, and Terraform.tf to define the keys, the access key, and maybe variables. Okay, and the root is to hotel app ec2 and there. Okay, copy it. Let's close, exit, close this pane and let's check the files. Okay, here we have the files similar for our project. Let's to change this information inside this file. For example, in the backend file, is similar the definition of the provider because it's in the same provider. The backend section is for this configuration regarding to the ec2 instances. I'm going to put in the same bucket, but in different route. For example, I'm going to copy in the hotel. I create a new one. Is hotel. Let me see what is the hotel ec2. Okay. Hotel slash ec2 and the terraform.tf state. In this folder is where the state of the ec2 instance will be created. I'm going to modify another file, for example, the provider. Not the provider is the same. The variables, let's check. Secret and access key, the same. And the tf is the same. And let's continue modifying the main.tf. Here I'm going to define the instances. For the instance, we need to define the resource, and the resource we need to define is the AWS instance, and here we have to give a name. For example, instance for in public subnet and Dev-container. Here we are going to run the Dev-container. Next, we need to define the Amazon machine. To get this data, we have to go to the Amazon Web Console, and here in the ec2 section we can find the different Amazon Web Services instance provided from Amazon Web Services, and here we can search in the documentation, but the more efficient or fast way to get the code for the Amazon instance is go to the instances list and try to run one instance, and here we can see the different Amazon machines provided from Amazon. Here launch or simulate and launch a new ec2 instance, and here we are going to check the ID that we need in our Terraform code. Let's wait, it's taking a while. Okay, the Amazon machine that I want to run, okay, here we can run different operation system, but I'm going to work with the Amazon Linux machine, and here the Amazon AMI code is this one showing from console. Let's copy, and this code we need to put here. Okay, I'm going to reuse this code, and for this reason I'm going to define in locals. I'm going to define instance, and here I have to define the US EAST2 and paste. Okay, let's delete the double quotes, and here we need to change this code for local, and here the auto completion is working fine, and Then another thing that we need to define is the instance type. In this case, I'm going to use T3 small. This instance have 2 GB of RAM. And another thing that we need to define is the user data. In this machine, I'm going to install Docker. To do that, I'm going to define in a local variable in the top here the user data to install in a Docker in a Amazon machine. Install the Docker. Okay, install Docker in Amazon machine. Okay, to define the user data, we need to create this script and off. Okay, between this of boundary, we need to define the script number exclamation slash bin bash, and here I'm going to use the jump package to update the machine -g, and use jump to install Docker and run the Docker process. To do that, let's run systemctl start Docker. And I forget another thing, it is the systemctl enable Docker. And finally, we need to add this Docker to the user group, or the user in the Linux machine to the Docker group, to enable to run a process. To do that, I'm going to add the user mode -add to group the Docker, the ec2 user. Okay, with that, I'm going to continue adding this information to the user data local and the user data for the Amazon machine. Another thing that we need to define is the SSH key required to define or access to the machine. To get this key is required you created these keys in the console previously. Here I have a key pair created before, and I'm going to copy this key name, copy. If you don't created this key pair, you can create using this button, create key pair. Okay, I have this created. I'm going to copy and paste. Okay, with this I'm going to add the subnet, define the subnet ID and VPC security group ID, and associate public IP. This is to expose this dev container and access to the application. Let's to put it pending and pending. I'm going to get this information from the network module, but before I'm going to finish this configuration for this instance. And the last one that I need, okay, it is okay. Now I'm going to put some tags it's very useful to have some tags in this in all the definition for the instance. For example, extra tag equal name of the ec2 instance to develop in dev container. And it is useful to have or to define the owner or who created this configuration. For example, I'm going to put my personal linking URL Manuel-Fernando-Gállez, and it is useful to have the team. In this case is the development, and the team owner and project. In this case is the hotel app. Okay, perfect. Save. Now I'm going to check all the information up, but first I'm going to copy and paste this configuration for the instance and create the instance for the private subnet. This is for private subnet, and here I'm going to install the database. The instance is the same. The instance type is the I'm going to change to a micro. This instance is just 1 GB of RAM. The user data is the same because I'm going to install the database using Docker, using the same key pair to access to the instance. I need to define the subnet ID for the private subnet. The security group, I'm going to define this in a moment too, and associate the public IP address, change to false. We don't need to access to this instance from the public IP, and change the extra tag ec2 instance let's change here to develop or to develop database. The owner is the same, the team is developed, and the project hotel. Okay, cool. Let's review this information. The network backend S3 config. Okay, it looks good. Let's to move this more to the right for this variable, and yum update, yum install docker minus just confirm the installation, system enable docker, system start. Okay, perfect. Let's save, and now I'm going to define the output for this subnets ID, the public subnet and the private subnet, and the security groups IDs for the public subnet and the private subnets to allow the connection from or with SSH and the connection throughout ports 18 and 8081. Let's close and move to the network project hotel cd. Oh, okay. A good practice regarding to the organization for this infrastructure in the ec2 instance is to have the different environments, because it's normal to have different configuration for different environments according to the needs. For example, in this case, I'm going to create a dev environment, and I'm going to create a dev folder here, and inside this dev folder I'm going to put the configuration that we are working on. And when we need to create the production configuration, we just need to create another folder called production. Let's move the ec2 folder to dev folder. Okay, and we know that inside this dev folder we have the ec2 instance for development. Okay, like I said, if we need to the configuration or the infrastructure for production environment, we can create this production folder, and we have here the hotel project, and inside we have the different environments for the different ec2 instance. Okay, continue moving to the network module to define the outputs. Network module. Now we need to change the outputs modules, and here we need to define the output for the private subnet IDs, and we have to define the output for the public subnet ID. Okay, save, and here we need to define the value, and here the module, define the module for the VPC, and get the subnets, public subnet. This is the public subnets. This will return the list of the subnets IDs. This should be an array of IDs for the subnets. And here in the description I'm going to change to a list, put list of public subnets IDs. Let's change to IDs, and here is IDs. Okay, the same here. Change to module VPC that private subnets, and here I'm going to change to list of private subnets IDs. Let's save, and perfect. Here we have defined the outputs for the subnets, and we need the outputs for the security groups. Let's define the output for the security group. The security group for the dev container. This is for the web development, but I think dev container is a good name. Security group for the container. The value should be the module and the app module that security group. Let's check why it is showing the same name. Maybe we have a mistake there. Let's open the modules network, and here I'm going to check security group hotel VPC hotel, and here hotel app SSH, and here we have hotel app HTTPS. Okay, let's change to security group hotel is http. Let's copy and paste. Copy and paste. Okay, and if we want a description, this is the security group ID for a dev container. Okay, and now let's to define the output for the security group database. The value is from the module security group hotel app SSH, and the description is very similar to this one: security group ID for Shanghai database. Security group, it's a mistake here. Oh, cool. Now we have changed the output of our application, and the reason that we need to restore all the network infrastructure is because we need this output in another module, and we have to destroy this infrastructure or modify this infrastructure. To do that, I'm going to close and run the modification Terraform plan. With Terraform plan, we can check what is the changes that we have in our code, comparing with the infrastructure that we have in our AWS account. Let's check what change the application told me, or Terraform told me that we have. Here the changes for the output, there are the only changes that we have for the private subnet IDs. You can see the list of the different IDs in the 0 position and the subnets ID, the security group ID and the security group object. With it is an object, and inside this object we have different values for the security group. In this case we need the security group ID, and here we have the same for the security group for dev container. Okay, with that now we need to run Terraform apply and auto approve, because we know that the changes are correct. Yes, and with -auto-approve, the Terraform just run the changes without asking the confirmation. Okay, meanwhile this finished. Okay, very fast, and that is it. This is the changes that we applied to our network. Now let's move again to the ec2 instance. Okay, I'm going to open here NeoVim. Now you can check the network project, and you can check the hotel dev and ec2 project. Now I'm going to add the in the main, I'm going to add the changes that we added to the output. For example, the subnet ID for the public dev container. For this we need to access to the data that Terraform. I have an error here because this snippet code showed me that we needed, or naming convention is Terraform remote state, and I changed to Terraform network state. Let's use this snippet to change. I'm going to change the data to this one. Okay, and I'm going to delete this code. Data that okay, it is now auto completed Terraform network, and that the outputs, okay, and the subnet ID, it is public. Okay, first let's change to rerun the init to see if the auto completion is working. Let's close and move to hotel dev ec2 and run terraform init. Let's see if there are an error. With that, the main goal is the refreshing state from our network, because we recently performed a change in our outputs for the network. Okay, finish it. It's take 3 minutes, and the reason why it is take too long is because I forget to run Terraform init at the beginning of the creation of the project. But anyway, let's now edit the data from our output that we recently created in the Terraform code. Go to this section here, the outputs that okay, let's do move to the root of the project, change directory to the root. Now I'm going to open NeoVim here, and I'm going to see the outputs name, for example the private subnet ID. Copy. I'm going to hotel dev ec2 instance main, and here we have the outputs for the IDs. What is going on with linter? Oh, this required backend. I have an error here in this save. Okay, and that is the reason why I didn't see this change. Let's run again Terraform init, but first we need to change directory to hotel dev ec2, and here we need to run Terraform init again to update the infrastructure state, and Terraform plan. No, I think that with this Terraform init is enough. Let's do open the main file to check if we have the auto completion working fine. Network Terraform remote network. Let's check if we have okay outputs, and the network is called. I'm going to open a new pane and go to the 3 dot. This is an alias that I have up 3 folders and show the folders, and check the network folder, and here I have the outputs, and here is the name of the subnet. Let's network that private. I don't see this, so I'm going to copy this, and this is an array, and here I need the 0 position, and here the same data that Terraform, that network, and the security group for Dev-container. Security group, let's paste. Okay, I didn't page correct this. Copy and paste, and this is an object, and I'm going to extract from this object this data. Okay, I think this is enough. I see an error in linter. Let's check what is going on. Unsupported attribute. What is marked? I delete the outputs. That and the private subnets. Okay, and here I had the outputs, that outputs, and the name of a security group, that container. Okay, it's done. Now let's edit the other one. Here is the subnet for the private subnet. It is in the data Terraform, the network outputs, and the name of the output for the private subnet. It is this one. Copy and paste, and the 0 position, and the same for the security group for the private subnet. And here I'm going to select the output, that security group. Let's search for the security group for database. Let's copy and paste, save, and let me check it is correct. Let's exit from this pane. We are done. I think that it is all that we need to run to create our infrastructure. Let me check what is this error reference to undeclared module. Let's check where we are using VPC. VPC. Here in the outputs, I can see the output is using this one, and here no, in this output. Let's open this. Okay. Okay, I didn't edit these outputs files. For the outputs, for the ec2 instances, I'm going to change the value for the instance IP or public IP. I want to show the output IP for this instance. For the instance, the value is the AWS is instance, and the private subnet, public subnet. Okay. instance public subnet dot Dev-container dot public IP. Okay, and the description, it could be the public IP to access to the app. Okay, and save. Let's check what is going on. Invalid output name. Okay, I think it is require an output. Let's create this output, and the output, okay. The problem here regarding to the output, it is not allowed to have the space. Okay, save, and let's wait to run. Okay, done. Let's review the provider. It's cool. The variables, the backend, it's Terraform, manual, and hotel. Okay, here we have to do the same change that we did in the local environment to add the environment that we are going to store the state in the S3 bucket. Okay, let's exit and run Terraform plan to check if this run correct, but first we need to run Terraform init first. If you wish to attend, okay, I changed the local root for our state, and it's required to run or Terraform init migrate state or Terraform init reconfigure. I'm going to run Terraform init migrate state. Okay, run and wait to run the migration from the old folder to the new one. Okay, done. Now I'm going to run Terraform plan and see what is going on with the Terraform plan. Before we run the apply, okay, let's check this error, incorrect attribute. I have a mistake regarding to the security group IDs. Data Terraform output security dev container. Maybe I need the security ID. Let's open the main.tf. The security group ID, and change in the other one that security group ID. Let's verify if it's okay. Let's run the Terraform plan, and if all is correct, the plan is running successfully. Let's check on support attribute for instance private subnet data and the security group that. Okay, I have another mistake. Here it's not that, it is ID. Let's close and run another time. It is good this error happened because show how you can fix or read the message. Okay, the plan running okay. Now I'm going to run the Terraform apply, but first I'm going to show you in the console that we don't have any instance running if I update, it is not instance running. But if we run terraform plan auto approve, the flag auto approve, terraform auto approve, terraform plan auto approve. I think it is auto approve. Let me check in the help. Terraform the flag. Let me read. Apply and the flag. Okay, I don't remember the flag in this moment. Let's run apply and just write yes to verify that the changes in the infrastructure will run. This take a while. Let's okay, it's very fast. Yes to confirm all the change, but apply the change will take some time. I'm going to code and go back. Okay, finished the installation of or the creation of the our ec2 instance. Let's to verify in the Amazon Web Service console, and here you can see 2 instances. Let's check the tags. Here, this is the database instance in the private network, and the second one for the dev container in the public network. Let's to connect to the public on or this instance. Instance is not in a public subnet. What is the error? Let's check the main.tf. Here is the public network, and okay, this is the error. This is the public network, and I write ground the public IP. Let's to open the different public IDs. Let's to move to network and the output. Let's check the public subnet. Let's copy and paste and 0. Let's to verify it. Okay, the second one is correct. Private subnet. Okay, with this change, we need to run Terraform plan to check if the Terraform will correct the ID of the instance. Let's wait to run the plan and check what is going on. Plan 1 add, change, and 1 destroyed. Change the output. Okay, and here I'm going to run Terraform apply auto approve. Okay, let's wait a minute, and maybe it take a moment. I'm going to code and go back. Okay, finished the changes regarding to the error that we have or that I have in the creation of the subnet. This is the new public IP, and let's check if we have the changes in the instances. Here, refresh the instances list. Okay, this error message is because Terraform stop one instance and or terminate one instance and create a new one. Here, this instance was terminated, and this is the new instance. To verify this, I'm going to read the tags. This is the new tag or the new instance. Here we have the information for the dev container. Now let's to connect to this instance, and using SSH here I'm going to copy this SSH key and go to the console, open a new pane and try to connect. Here open and paste. But first we need the SSH key. To copy this SSH key, let's check if we have the SSH key in the SSH folder. So now we don't have the folder for the SSH key. I'm going to create this folder at SSH. Okay, now I'm going to close this session. I'm going to detach from this Tmux session. I'm going to press Ctrl+B-T to detach and exit from the container. Now I am -A. Now I am in my laptop. I'm going to check the running container, and I'm going to check the SSH key is in my local. Let's copy the SSH key, paste, and here we have the SSH key. Now I'm going to use the docker copy or cp command to copy this SSH key to the container terraform-code in home manual.ssh / and enter. Copy successfully. Now I'm going to attach again exec to the Terraform code. Now run. Let's clear the console. Now let's run. Check if the Tmux have a session. Tmux list session. You can see that I have the session running. That is a good advantage of Tmux. We can detach from the machine and we don't lose the work. Let's to attach to Tmux A to attach, and here I have the SSH key. Let's to verify, excuse me, that SSH key and enter. Now I have the SSH key in the container. Let's copy the command to connect to the machine, but I need to edit because I am not in the SSH folder. Let's press enter and try to connect to the new ec2 instance, and let's check if the instance is running a container that we installed using the user data option in the infrastructure that we create for the instances. Let's wait because it's taking a while to connect. Okay, connected to the ec2 instance. Now in the ec2 instance, I'm going to check if there is running Docker and the Docker version, Docker -v. Okay, running perfect. Now we created all the infrastructure required to work in a dev environment, and now I'm going to use this infrastructure to develop the application. This is a long first part, but I want to show you how to create the infrastructure using Terraform, because this allow us to shut down all the dev infrastructure and run very fast and run change very fast and run again all the changes. And this is a very good way to work. Now let's move to the second part, to the another part. It's to develop the application using this infrastructure.